Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mingo Central High School, where tonight it is the finals of the Region 4 Section 2 championship game between the 22-1 Chapmanville Tigers, ranked number 2 in the state, and the 16-8 Logan Wildcats, ranked number 13 in the state. Chris Kidd here with you, alongside me, James Barker, with Robbie Mounts, our engineer, and Sarah Stowers, our camera operator, as one of these two teams will host a regional championship next week. The loser will have to go on the road to either Nitro or Winfield. We're keeping close eye on that game as well as the evening progresses, but we have got a dandy of a matchup here between these two longtime rivals coming your way in less than 10 minutes. James and I will step aside for a quick 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll preview tonight's matchup between the Tigers and the Wildcats. You are listening to Region 4 Section 2 Championship basketball action with us right here on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station. And
chronic wounds can really slow you down. At Logan Regional Medical Center, we want to help you get back to doing the things you love without having to travel far from home. That's why the team from our Advanced Care Wound Center combines expertise and advanced technology, like the region's only hyperbaric oxygen therapy program, helping you to heal quickly. Logan Regional Medical Center.
Healing starts here.
Still sitting at stop? Wait no longer. Go Thornhill and drive today. Thornhill Factory Outlet has special financing available with programs to help get you approved on the vehicle you've been waiting for. No matter your position, it's your time to shop and drive with Thornhill.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They are the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, Logan, and Mingo counties with its own crematory. For more information, contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
I've been a lot of things over the years.
Your blind spot, your loose satellite dish, a literal deer in the headlights. But it's a new year and I'm making a resolution. No more mayhem. This year, I'm everything that helps keep you safe. Like the fuzzy yellow tennis ball dangling from a string, helping make sure you pull the car in far enough. But not too far.
It's time for you to get more for less. Shop Thornhill Factory Outlet for the best savings on your next ride. Let our finance specialists get you approved and get you more for your tax refund. With vehicles to fit all budgets, you'll drive today with Thornhill. Apply online at Thornhill Factory.
welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd and James Barker here with you as we are getting set for the third matchup of the season between the Chapmanville Tigers and the Logan Wildcats. And James, these two teams got here in some different ways. Again, Logan had to take the long route. They beat Man 87-41 in the sectional quarterfinals. They outscored them by 25 in the third quarter, had 13 players in the scorebooks that night, and then finally got over that hump of Mingo Central the other night, winning 42-35. That was a game Mingo led by 9 early on and then had the lead with 6:15 left, but little did Mingo know that was going to be the last points they scored of the evening as Logan closed the game on an 8-0 run, shot 55.2% for the game, and were 9 of 11 in the second half on shooting. You were there on Wednesday night. Talk about the difference in the first two matchups that you saw with Logan and Mingo and how Logan was able to get over the hump the other night.
Chris, we've talked about it all season long, and particularly in the last month and a half. Logan's defense has really turned the corner this year, and the Wildcats are starting to play a slower brand of basketball, making teams make some shots from the outside with good, tough defense. This flat top 3-2 zone that we're going to see tonight from the Wildcats probably for much of the game even gave Chapmanville fits when they played at Chapmanville, when the Tigers were able to beat the Wildcats by 7 in what has been the closest game in quite some time between the two schools. So defensively, Logan really has turned up the heat, and the Wildcats will need that good defensive prowess tonight.
Yeah, and you talked about the offense and defense. Again, they've only allowed 70 or more points, Logan has, 3 times this year. And they've held teams below 50 points in 4 of their last 5 games. They're 4-0 in those contests, but Logan's scoring has been the issue for them part of this year. Part of that is due to the tempo that they play now, but they've only scored over 70 points 7 times this year, and only once in the last 8 games that they scored over 70 points. That is in huge contrast to the Chapmanville Tigers, who have scored over 70 points 16 times this year, and they've scored over 70 in 5 of their last 6 games.
Yeah, whose pace is going to dominate the game tonight? At Chapmanville, Logan's pace dominated the game, 52-45, Chris, but at the same time, Tigers able to pull out that victory. If Chapmanville dominates the pace tonight, that is not good news for Logan, because they just can't score the way the Tigers do. So if you're Logan, defensively is where you win this basketball game.
Yeah, and that's something that they were able to do favorably in the second matchup. First game, Chapmanville was finally able to get into their type of flow, ended up winning that game 65-46 back on January 5th at Logan. And then Chapmanville turned around, were able to stave off Logan at home on February 9th, 52-45. That was the second lowest point total for Chapmanville all season. The other was 50 points against Mingo Central in that 50-29 win that they had. But they've gone to that 3-2 zone a lot here in the second half of the season, which has really caused fits with their length and their size, and I think we'll see that again here tonight.
When you look at what happens to the Wildcats' opponents when they get on the floor, Chris, and they have those three-point shots contested the entire time, it's very difficult to score on that 3-2 zone.
I'll tell you what, we're getting ready for the national anthem, so we'll step aside for our final pregame break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Logan and Chapmanville Part 3. You are listening to and watching Region 4 Section 2 Championship action with us right here on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station, and on Video Productions.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They are the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, Logan, and Mingo counties with its own crematory. For more information, contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
Time out! Do you need custom screen printing and embroidery to promote your team, school, or event? Look no further than First Place Printing and see why more teams and schools are choosing them for their custom clothing needs. First Place Printing also stocks athletic shoes, travel gear, backpacks, and more. The first stop for team apparel, sports gear, uniforms, and custom clothing is First Place Printing. Call 304-239-2991 or connect with them on social media, facebook.com/firstplaceprinting.
At Logan Regional Medical Center, we're proud to deliver high-quality health care to our neighbors every day. That's why we're here, for you. From helping you welcome your newborn into the world or providing the right care to truly make your advanced years golden, for all of life's little bumps and emergencies along the way, we're always here for you. Logan Regional Medical Center, compassionate, quality care, close to home.
Live your life like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shut so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no distance too far.
Back here for the almost start of the Region 4 Section 2 championship game between number 2 Chapmanville and number 13 Logan. Chris Kidd and James Barker with you, and it's time now for our Logan Regional Medical Center keys to the game. And again, Chapmanville comes in here red hot. James, they've won 16 games in a row, beat Lincoln County 87-48 in the sectional semifinals. They've been on a tear. Logan's won 4 or 5 games. What does each team have to do to come out of here tonight with the sectional crown?
Well, for the Wildcats, we mentioned it in the pregame, Chris, they must play solid defense. They've got to slow this game down. They can't be the running Wildcats tonight. They have to be the zone cats. They have to be able to get Chapmanville to take some bad shots from the outside, stop Obina from the inside, and play good defense in that 3-2 zone. For Chapmanville, Chris, all they've got to do is do what they do, and that's push the tempo, shoot well from the outside, and Obina controlling the glass on both ends of the floor, and the Tigers will come away with the sectional crown.
Well, those are our Logan Regional Medical Center keys to the game, and the key to your health care is with Logan Regional Medical Center, offering care for every stage of life, from the Women's Center to pediatrics and primary care physicians. Logan Regional Medical Center, always here for you. Again, we look at the starting lineups here on both sides. For Logan, it'll be 6'4" sophomore David Early. Led the Cardinal Conference in scoring this year with 21.7 points per game. Then you have Dean Ono, a 6'5" senior. Terrence Chapman, a 6'5" senior. TJ Mullins, a 6'3" senior. And also in the starting lineup tonight for Logan, trying to see if they're going to go with another guard or not here tonight. Again, they've gone with Cook and Hayner at different points, and it appears it'll be Mitchell Hayner, the 6'2" freshman, getting the start for Logan as well. On the other end for Chapmanville, it'll be 6'4" senior Drew Williamson, averaged 16 points per game, a two-time first-team All-Stater. Dylan Smith, a 5'10" senior. Obina Anachile Killen, a 6'9" sophomore. Kyle Browning, a 6' senior. And Devin Collins, a 6'5" junior. Again, Chapmanville's averaging 73.3 points per game. Logan, 62 points per game. Both defenses been outstanding. Logan giving up 53.6 points per game. Chapmanville, 50.3, as it'll be Obina to jump it up in the center circle with Chapman, as it's the Tigers and the Wildcats for the sectional crown, and we are underway here from Mingo Central High School. Tigers win the tap. They'll be going left to right across your computer screen and radio dial here in the first quarter, with Logan from right to left. And Logan comes out in that 3-2 zone we talked about. Browning up top, gets it into the right corner for Williamson. Williamson back out to Browning. Dribbles over, kicks it to Smith. Now into the corner for Collins. He'll launch a three from the left corner. Count it! As Devin Collins gets on the board first, and Chapmanville has the early lead.
And to attack that 3-2 zone, that's where you have to go with the basketball. It's in the corners and overload the sides. That's exactly what Chapmanville did there, and Devin Collins, a huge shot to start this game.
They get it to the high post and get it into the corners, and that was textbook there for the Tigers. As they get it out front, Hayner being guarded by Collins up against the 5-second call. Hayner's going to have to get rid of it, does so, but throws it out of bounds. And last touch by Logan, as that was tough defense there by Devin Collins.
And we mentioned, you and I talking on the way here, that maybe Brad Napper didn't show his hand against Logan at Chapmanville, and right now we're starting to see a couple of adjustments that the Tiger coaching staff has made.
Again, we talked about Logan's defense. Chapmanville has held teams below 50 points 13 times this year, and in 8 of their last 10 games, and they held Logan below 50 both times. As Smith, pull-up jumper left elbow, no good. Ball tipped out of bounds, and they say last touch by Early, so we'll stay with the Tigers.
Well, Smith had Collins open in the corner there again for another look at three, but Smith a little bit confident in his game tonight, Chris.
So get it into Obina, spins in, gives it off to Williamson. He dribbles to the right side. Now back into the right corner, back out to Williamson. He'll jack a three and buries it. And Chapmanville out to a quick start with back-to-back threes. They lead it 6-0.
And he just Terrence Chapman gave Drew Williamson just a little bit too much room there for that shot, and Drew's going to nail that every time.
Now Chapman, the lefty, goes in, rejected by Obina, as Obina came in out of nowhere and knocked it away. Now Chapmanville running the other side. Collins, deep three, center, count it! 9-0, Chapmanville leads it, and that's going to get a timeout.
And a double foul too, Chris.
Yeah, we got Obina under the basket. Not sure who else is going to get tagged on this, as Zach Green wants a 30-second timeout here, as Chapmanville has come out on fire in their first 3 possessions. And again, it's a timeout, but be sure to take some time to sign up for real-time text and email alerts about power outages and restoration estimates in the area at AppalachianPower.com/alerts. And again, James, Chapmanville just been deadly here in the early stages from outside.
Well, and for Chapmanville, Chris, we talked about it. They've got to hit shots from the outside. If we look here on our replay on Video Productions, you see the first 3 that Devin Collins hit from the far corner, and it was key to the game. Chapmanville gets hot from the outside. They live and die by the 3. Everybody knows that, but they are really, really good at shooting them.
Yeah, again, they hit 6 threes in the first game against Logan, hit only 4 in the second meeting, but they had a stretch there a couple weeks ago where they hit 44 threes in a 5-game span. So we're averaging over 8 per game, and if they shoot like this, it's going to be very difficult for Logan to be productive in that 3-2 zone.
We've got to look at Logan has really only had 1 true offensive possession in this game so far with the turnover. And I don't even know if they've attempted a shot yet, Chris.
The only one was the block that Obina had on Chapman. So Logan trying to settle down here as Dylan Smith drawing the duty on early, and we get a whistle and a foul called, and they're going to get Smith early on. And these two right here, James, they go at it as hard as any two in the state on the offensive end.
Yeah, Smith is going to guard early all night long. Early in the two meetings against Chapmanville, averaging 17.5 points. He had 17 in the first meeting, 21 in the second meeting. But Smith has got the task of guarding the number one or leading scorer in the whole Cardinal Conference.
Mullins, they get it over right side as they swing it around the perimeter, trying to find an opening here. Chapman gives it off to No, but it looks like he traveled, and he did on the way in.
It's 2 turnovers in 3 Logan possessions. And if we have watched Logan enough this year, Chris, and I think we have, we know they struggle in games where they turn the ball over like most teams do, but where Logan struggles offensively already, it's going to be tough for them to get out of the hole.
Browning has it on the right wing, back out to Williamson, dribbles in, gets it to Collins on the left side, in the left corner for Smith. 9-0, Chapmanville leads it, 5:25 to go in the first quarter. So then Chapmanville resets here. And again, thus far, they have buried 3 3-pointers to start this game. Browning dribbles in a little, now back out to Williamson. Being guarded out the head of that 3-2 by Hayner. Now gets a little separation, goes for 3. This one rims in and out, but Obina on the rebound, goes back up. He can't finish. Rebound fought for. We're going to get a tie up here, it appears, and the possession arrow will go to Logan.
Now Obina just missed that offensive rebound putback, and good enough for Chapmanville to get a jump ball there, but Logan's got to do a better job. Even if Obina goes up with a shot, they've got to put a body on him. I thought Mingo Central, the last time they played Chapmanville, did a really good job of boxing out Obina and kind of neutralizing him. That's something that Logan's going to have to do.
And now Hayner double-teamed as he comes across midcourt, gets it to Early in the left corner. Early and Smith going head-to-head, step back 3. Early can't connect. The rebound underneath going back up is Chapman. His shot may have been partially deflected by Obina as it misses off the front iron, and rebound taken by Chapmanville. They give it to Williamson at the top of the key. Looks inside for Obina. Now they give it to him at the left elbow. Jumper, count it for Obina, and it is an 11-0 Chapmanville lead.
And Logan just has not found their legs in this game whatsoever, and you kind of maybe thought that would happen, Chris, after that tough game against Mingo to get here.
And now trying to end the bleeding, but no good on the 3 by T.J. Mullins from the left side, and rebounded by Collins. Up ahead, he gives it to Browning. We're almost midway through the first quarter. Collins pump fakes, now gets it into the corner. Smith, wide open 3, no good off the back iron. Rebound tipped out, nice dig there by Early to take it away from Williamson. Now Early, and a blocking foul called on Smith, and Smith not happy, and David Early lets him know that's 2 on you.
Yeah, that's probably going to be it for Smith for a while, but here's where Chapmanville's so good, Chris. We've talked about it all year. They get a kid like Philip Mullins off the bench that takes Smith's spot, and Mullins not as quick.
And they just teed up Dylan Smith.
Did they really? Wow. That's 3 personal on him. We won't see him for a while. That's a tough break there for Chapmanville. Had all the momentum in the world, and you can see we've seen some things happen before the game, Chris, that may have put Smitty into a tough spot mentally, but now with Chapmanville having all the momentum in the world, now you give Logan a chance to creep back into this game.
So now Early will shoot the technicals, and he hits on the first. So Logan finally on the board here with exactly 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, 11-1. But yeah, now Smith with 3 fouls on him, and he may not be back until somewhere midway into the third quarter as Early sinks both. And now that creates a different scenario here defensively for Chapmanville. Again, Philip Mullins into the game, extremely capable, but again, the foot speed of Dylan Smith and the frustration of Dylan Smith not going to be on the floor for a while. We'll see how David Early tries to take advantage of this. As they inbound it, Mullins gets it into the backcourt for Hayner. Hayner will run it across over to the right side, picked up by Collins. Again, Logan still without a field goal here, but they just picked up 2 points on the technical. It's out front. Now they go to Early on the left side, being guarded by Mullins. Step back 3 in front of him. No good off the side of the rim. Rebound loose and contact, and they're going to say last touch by Williamson out of bounds.
I thought that was the right call. They could have called a foul on Drew there. He made hard contact on TJ when he got to the ball first, but they're going to have to watch Mullins on Early here right now.
Early fadeaway jumper at the free throw line, no good. Rebound tipped by No, but into the hands of Williamson. Williamson dribbles across midcourt, looks inside for Obina, fakes a pass, now gives it to Williamson, reverse layup, no good, and rebounded by Chapman as Williamson crashes to the deck. Here comes Early up the left side, cut off by Mullins, now takes it baseline, goes up, rejected by Obina, but Dino No there on the follow, and it's now 11-4 in favor of Chapmanville.
And Dino's going to have to clean up a lot of those shots tonight. Obina, when he skies, doesn't have the ability to rebound, and Chapmanville doesn't really have another body to box out once Obina goes up to block the shot. So Dino and Terrence Chapman can kind of clean up after the blocks if they're in the right spots.
That's what I said. Logan is a little bigger all the way around as they go inside to Obina. Count it, and the foul as he's hit on the way up by Dino No, it appears, and that'll be a three-point play opportunity now for Obina. I'm waiting for the signal here officially, and yes, they do signal Dino No on the foul. That'll be his first.
Chris, if you're Logan right now with 2:25 to go here in the first quarter, what you would like to do, continue to slow this game down. You're only down 10 now. You were down 11, so you just keep cutting into this lead and hopefully get it to a two-possession game before the end of the first.
Well, Obina's got 5 now. He had 20 in the first game against Logan, 9 in the second game as they go inside. Nice move by Chapman as Obina gambled and lost on a steal, and Chapman able to make him pay as he finishes on the left block.
And if you're the Wildcats now, you get a stop here, get the ball back, and have an opportunity to cut this to a two-possession game.
14-6. They go to Williamson, left corner three, misses off the side of the backboard, rebounded by Hayner. You don't see Williamson miss that badly often as Hayner dribbles in, rejected and sent out by Obina as that's his third block already, or fourth block already.
If you count that partial tip, that's 4, and you're looking at a kid that's almost halfway to a double-double with points and blocks, and then if you count rebounds, he's close to a triple-double. We're only 6 minutes into this game.
And now Jordan Kish will check in for Obina at the 2:20 mark of the first quarter. And Kish has been hot as of late. Again, he had 19 to lead Chapmanville in scoring against Lincoln County, and he's been in double figures in 5 of the last 7 games for Chapmanville. Out front is Early, trying to find separation. Nice pass inside to No. Layup is good on the left side. What a shovel pass.
And you can see Chapmanville's game plan. Get the ball out of Early's hands. Make him make a decision with that basketball quick. And right now, David's doing a good job of facilitating the offense.
Logan has cut this lead nearly in half, and now they go to Collins, right corner three, no good. Rebounded by Early, a chance to cut this to 4, perhaps 3. Fast break, they go to Chapman, left side layup, gets it to fall off the back iron. And now after an 11-0 start for Chapmanville, Logan on a 10-4 run.
And this is exactly what Logan wanted to do before the end of this first quarter with 90 seconds to go till the end of 1.
I should say a 10-3 run for Logan right now as Mullins, he'll take a left corner 3, no good, as now the 3's not falling for Chapmanville, but Logan bats it out of bounds. 2 of them were there, but neither could control it. And now Obina's going to quickly get back up into the game after sitting for about 54 seconds.
And that's because Pete Mbechi checks into the game for the first time for the Wildcats, Chris, as that 6'7 junior checks in and trying to give Logan a little bit more size on the inside.
Now it'll be Browning to trigger it in, lobs it in deep for Williamson, has it on the left side, dribbles inside the free throw line, and now we get a whistle and a foul called. And this is going to go against Logan on a push. So that'll be team foul number 3 against them and 4 against Chapmanville thus far. They're going to signal that one on TJ Mullins.
Well, this atmosphere was fantastic at 6:30 tonight, and it's still good at around 8 o'clock, Chris.
We got here at 5 o'clock, and there was already a line well outside the door as we are jam-packed in here right now, folks, as Kish gets it out to Williamson, takes a 3 from the right wing, and Williamson connects his second 3 of the game and gives Chapmanville back a 7-point lead as Early back quickly the other way. Had it poked from behind. No, a charge called. They call a charge on David Early as he ran into 2 Chapmanville defenders, and I think it was Williamson that took it.
You look back here at our All-State replay on Video Productions, and Williamson, anytime he gets a little bit of space right now, it's March, Chris. You give him a little bit of room, he's going to pull the trigger, and he has been deadly in March for the Tigers over his career.
Yeah, he had 11 in the first meeting against Logan as he was suffering with the flu in that game, then had 10 in the second meeting. Now Mullins will go for 3 from the right side, no good, but a push off underneath. Going to go against TJ Mullins, and that's big because that's 2 on him. And you could see the push as soon as it happened there. TJ was just trying to get a little bit more favorable position. But now both teams, just like in the past 4 meetings with these two, it's been marred in foul trouble, as we've already got 5 fouls against Logan, 4 against Chapmanville.
Both teams use their bench a lot, so it doesn't really hurt the Tigers too much or the Wildcats, as we're going to get a foul on the floor, Chris, as they held Obina trying to get that quick inbound play.
Yeah, it was a quick draw there by Chapmanville on the inbounds. They're going to get Pete and Beachy on the foul that time as they tried to get Obina on a quick hitter. Now they inbound it to Obina. Again, the next foul puts Chapmanville in the 1-and-1. What a pass by Kish as he finds Williamson cutting free on the left side, and Williamson lays it in. 19-10 now, Chapmanville, as they have nearly rebuilt their 11-point lead from earlier this quarter. Quick pass up ahead to him. Beachy drives in, throws up a tough left-handed hook, no good. Rebounded by Kish. Had it knocked away by No, but it's out of bounds off of Logan.
Well, they called a foul there, Chris. It looked like on Beachy.
Oh, yeah, they did get a foul. Yeah, they got Beachy on a push. So that's going to be 2 on him. So Logan's big men now starting to have fouls pile up on them. That's 2 on Beachy.
And here's the other point of this. That's already 17 fouls on the Wildcats, and it puts Chapmanville in the 1-and-1 with 27 seconds left in the first.
And it's like we said, this has been part of the problem throughout these 4 meetings within the last 2 years, is that it's just been a foul-plagued nightmare for both teams, and there's just never really been a whole lot of flow to either one of these games, as it appears that maybe one of the Chapmanville players had a little blood that they're cleaning up, so they're going to take a little bit of time here. It appears now Brad Napper's going to take a 30-second timeout. So we'd just like to remind everyone that in the nation, agents go above and beyond to understand and protect what matters most to you. Your local Nationwide agents are part of a member-driven community where serving members' needs is their priority. Call Nationwide agent Kelly Wooten Willis at 304-752-1390 today. Join the nation. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio, subject to underwriting guidelines review and approval. This is WVOW Logan. Again, James, things were starting to turn in a more of a favorable direction for Logan midway through this quarter, but now Chapmanville's got the momentum back a little bit here, and this is turning into a higher scoring game than what Logan wants it to be at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned that Logan wants to play defense. They want to slow this game down, and I know it's hard to think right now with Tom Petty in your ear, Chris, but at the same time, the Tigers have been hot from the outside, got a cold stretch there for about 3 minutes. But Drew Williamson, Chris, 11 in the first meeting, 10 in the second meeting. He already has 8 in the first quarter. And that's the guy. If you're going to take away anybody for Chapmanville, it has to start with Drew Williamson. You know, McDonald's All-American candidate, just a kid that can absolutely stroke from the outside. And now with 7 fouls and Chapmanville in the 1-on-1, he will find a way to get to the foul line too.
Yeah, and it's been a few weeks since he's had a big outburst of scoring in a ball game. And again, with as much talent as Chapmanville has on their roster, you know, anybody can get it done on any given night. Like we said, Jordan Kish, the 6th or 7th man off the bench, ends up with 19 points the other night, and we've seen a slew of Tigers that have led them in scoring. But Williamson, you know, maybe hasn't had that big game that he wanted to have as of late, but nevertheless, he did break Mackenzie Martin's scoring record earlier this year against Huntington in a ball game, went over 1,600 points for his career, so we know that he can get hot in a hurry. And now we also get a score update from our Region 4 Section 1 championship, and right now it is the Winfield Generals leading the Nitro Wildcats 38-28. So again, a little bit of thinking going into this now, because the winner of this game gets the loser of that game, and the loser of this game gets the winner of that game.
Yeah, and really, Chris, that was a coin toss going into the Region 4 Section 1 final. I thought Nitro was the better team, at least athletically, on the floor, but Winfield right now seems to have a pretty good stamp on what's going on in that basketball game. They're playing great defense on their end of the floor, and we thank Robbie Mounts and Butch Mounts and Video Productions for being able to have all these games for us to even watch while we're awaiting on the issue on the floor right now, Chris. But you talk about the way this region sets up. Both Logan and Chapmanville, no matter what happens tonight, have a shot to move on to Charleston. There's three groups that really enjoy that. The Logan group, the Chapmanville group, and the people that sell tickets for the Charleston Civic Center.
You know they're slobbering right now at the possibility of having both of them over there. And, you know, if you look at the way that things worked out earlier this year, Chapmanville, they completely decimated Winfield when they played them earlier this year and then beat Nitro by 10 at their place. Logan was able to beat Nitro by 2 at Nitro, and then were able to get by and defeat Winfield as well. You and I were on the call of that game, and they pulled away in the second half. So, again, it seems favorable for Chapmanville and Logan going into those regional games, depending on the matchups.
And I would have to agree, and I'm going to have to interrupt you here. So what I think is going on the floor, we don't see Obina and Chili Killen out there right now. So there may have been something that happened that he got cut or one of those two things where he has been bleeding. Reed Dingus, sophomore off the Chapmanville bench, just goes into the locker room. What probably is going to happen is Reed is probably going to give his jersey up to Obina, and when Obina checks back into the game, he'll be able to wear that jersey because the blood, you don't have to get the technical foul on that situation. So not 100% sure that's what's going on. That's what looks like it's going on, but this has been one of the longest delays for blood we've ever had on a broadcast.
Yeah, now we see Reed Dingus emerge from the locker room, and we saw Obina go behind the scenes in the back, and I just saw them carrying a jersey back there, so that's most definitely likely what is happening at the moment. Because, again, we are at the end of the first quarter nearly, 27 seconds remaining in the first period, with Chapmanville leading Logan 19-10, and now Nitro coming back, but a 3 now from Winfield gives them a 41-34 lead with 3:24 to go in the third quarter of that game. As again, that game bears a lot of importance as to what happens here tonight as well, as all four teams will stay alive after tonight. Just a matter of where the matchups will be next Thursday at this point. As now Chapmanville has come back onto the floor here. Again, Chapmanville here in the first quarter hit 4 threes thus far, as they just got off to a red-hot start. Logan has been able to inch back, closed it to as close as 4 points, and now Chapmanville a chance to retake a double-digit lead as Obina now back out of the locker room will be wearing 34 now for the remainder of the game as Kish sinks the first free throw.
Yeah, this 1-and-1 situation now for the Wildcats with Chapmanville at the line does not bode well because the Tigers shoot really well from the charity stripe.
As Kish sinks both of them. So he's got his first 2 of the ball game. It's now an 11-point lead. It's still on the inbounds by Mullins, throws it behind his back and finds Elkins, and now Chapmanville will likely get the last possession here of the first quarter.
And, you know, they had an 11-point lead, start out the game, an 11-0 run, Chris, and we're up to an 11-point lead, and they have the ball with a chance to go back up.
Down to 9 seconds. Browning will go now. Gets a screen out front. Goes to Williamson. Pump fakes. Deep 3 left side. No good off the front of the rim. Long rebound comes out with 2 seconds. Elkins will heave it at the horn. Almost banked it in from 35 feet. And that brings us to the end of the first quarter with Chapmanville leading Logan 21-10. We will be back for the start of quarter number 2 in 60 seconds as you are listening to the Region 4 Section 2 Championship game with us right here on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station, and live on
Logan Physical Therapy wants to help you. Have you been injured at work or in an accident? Come to Logan Physical Therapy, and Doug Hibbs will provide a thorough, careful evaluation and create a comprehensive treatment program that will get you back on your feet. Logan Physical Therapy, turning setbacks into comebacks.
There are some moments in life when time stands still. Holding your newborn is one of them. At Logan Regional Medical Center's Women's Center, it's our privilege to be there for you and your baby during this special time. Expert care, private rooms, and our Hugs infant security system help make you and your baby more comfortable, healthy, and welcome. Logan Regional Medical Center, compassionate care for your special moments. Quality care close to home.
Start of quarter number 2 here from Mingo Central High School in a jam-packed gymnasium. Chris Kidd with you, alongside me, James Barker, Robbie Mounts, our engineer, Sierra Stowers, our camera operator. Well, again, now we go to the second quarter, James, and things couldn't look any more difficult at the moment for Logan. Again, Chapmanville shot well in the first quarter. Logan is in foul trouble already, so the game is sped up as well. And you look at it, well, what do we see here? We have a bit of a
the possession arrow should be with Chapmanville,
okay,
which would make Chapmanville basketball out of the break.
Yeah, it is supposed to be Chapmanville ball again. Logan got the tie-up after Chapmanville won the opening tip.
Should be Chapmanville basketball, but they do make the correct change there.
Okay, so that was what they were discussing along the far side. But again, I was about to ask James, how does Logan slow this down, and how do they keep themselves from getting in worse foul trouble here?
Well, you got to stay in this zone, and you really got to start to extend a little bit. Drew Williamson has just been a terror on the outside so far, along with Devin Collins. So just stay in your zone, make Chapmanville work for shots, and extend the clock a little bit, and really take advantage of your right now, your size advantage on the glass.
Browning retreats. Now we'll start back in again. Gives it to Collins on the left wing. Collins back out to Browning. Browning dribbles into the free throw line, dumps it off to Obina, takes it left baseline, had it knocked away, and misses on the shot attempt taken by David Early. So good defensive possession there for the Wildcats. Now can they get it done on the offensive end? As Noah Cook into the game, an outside specialist, well as a good ball handler. Going up against Elkins in trouble, but able to find Chapman. Pass intercepted, though, by Browning. Browning on a run out here, trying to go up against Chapman, dives into his body, doesn't get a call, but rebounded by Obina as he shoots going to the deck and can't convert. And now Dino Noah and Browning in a tie-up situation, and the possession error will go to Logan.
And Kyle's so smart on two possessions here, Chris. He sees Early posting up. He knows he's outmanned underneath. He reads Terrence's eyes and knows when he's going to pass it. He gets into the lane, steals it, then comes down after two misses. And, yeah, it's a Logan rebound, but he ties up and gets the possession arrow back early here in the second quarter.
Honestly, Kyle Browning is one of the most intelligent basketball players I've seen in the 11 years that I've been doing this on the radio. The kid he knows where to be and what to do at all times. As Cook goes for three left wing, no good. Logan unable to hit from the outside here thus far tonight. As Williamson back up the right side, cut off by Hayner, gives it over to Browning. Browning, he'll take a deep three left wing, no good. Rebounded by Elkins on the right block. Elkins cut off, they give it back to Obina. Obina over to Elkins, now to Williamson. Williamson launches from deep, no good off the back rim. Rebound comes out long and taken by No. And now a foul called on Kyle Browning.
He tried to do the same thing he just did to Dino No, and that time Dino got a little bit more forceful with him, so they get Kyle with the reach in there. But, Chris, right now, this is what Logan wants this game to turn into. They want it to be a little bit more physical, slow down, and get good looks. And right now you're seeing Noah Cook run the point because Early's getting double-teamed every time he crosses the timeline.
Yeah, they're trying to post him up down low on Kyle Browning as they give it off to Early at the top of the key. Early trying to go one-on-one here. Now they give it off to Cook. Over to Chapman. Again, Dylan Smith on the bench with 3 fouls, picked up 2 and then a technical, so he won't be back the rest of this half likely. Inside, Browning knocks it away from Early, but it finds Noah Cook. Pass out front, finds Dino. Over to Chapman, layup blocked by Obina. Rebounded by No, goes up and converts on the left side. Great persistence by No.
And that's the third bucket that No has got off a block and just being in the right place at the right time. Once again, Chapmanville doesn't have a big body once Obina leaves the floor to get those blocks, so a good rebound by Dino.
I believe that's a 5th block as well by Dino here in the first half. As Browning into the right corner for Williamson. Pass gets away, and that's going to be an over and back violation. Ball back to Logan with 5:27 left in the first half.
And if you're going to script this quarter the way Logan wants it to go, so far so good for the Wildcats. Only 2 points scored in the entire quarter, and we're 2.5 minutes in.
So now Logan will inbound from underneath their own basket here. It'll be Early to trigger it in. Early fires it in quickly to Chapman on the right side. Now to Hayner, back to Early. Again, Early with 2 points thus far. Goes for 3. Back of the rim, no good, and rebounded by Williamson. As you said, they're doing such a good job of forcing the ball out of his hands as Collins is ran into by Dino No, as it was a good ball fake by Devin Collins. Got Dino in the air, and Dino came crashing down into him, and that'll be 2 on him.
And that'll put Collins to the line for a 1-and-1, even though he wasn't in the act of the shooting. So we'll probably see Phillip Mullins check back in for the first time in this sectional tournament, or not the sectional tournament, but since the sectional quarterfinals, we see Chucky Felder check into the game. That's more of a defensive substitution for Coach Zach Green.
But now you look at Logan's foul trouble. Dino No with 2, TJ Mullins with 2, Pete Mbichi with 2, all big men for the Wildcats as Collins sinks the first free throw.
But right now Zach Green's doing the right thing. Just have to survive this quarter of play with all those guys with 2 fouls, Chris, and then you're free to go in the second half.
Second free throw up, nothing but net again from Devin Collins as Logan 5 of 5, or Chapmanville rather, 5 of 5 from the free throw line here in the first half. 23-12 Chapmanville, closing it on 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Hayner in trouble, finds Felder. Felder down on the right block for Early. Early double team, gets by, hangs in the air, jumper no good, however, off the front iron. Rebounded by Williamson. He'll bring it up the right side. And Chapmanville going left to right across your computer screen and radio dial. Mingo Central right to left. Good passing into the corner. Browning 3, no good. Rebounded by Obina, and a whistle before the putback, and they're going to call a foul, I believe, on Obina here.
Yeah, I thought he maybe got a shove in the back. Charlie Short, one of the officials here tonight, able to make that call. As we'll see Kish check back in for Obina. And again, you don't want to get Obina in foul trouble because he's the only true big man you have if you're Chapmanville. So easy to get him out right now. As you can see on our instant replay, Obina just a little shove on Chapman, and it was a good call.
That's his first here. But as you said, he'll go to the bench for a little bit here as Kish back into the game. They hand it off to Early out front again. Early trying to find that elusive first bucket, but Logan double-teaming him every time he touches the ball. Now here's Chapman. Chapman with a pass almost stolen by Williamson. Hayner will go for 3. No good off the back rim. Rebounded underneath by Kish. He'll give it off to Mullins across the timeline on the left side. Back to Williamson, who's trailing. Thought about going from deep. Now to Collins. Pass over the head of Browning and out of bounds, and another Chapmanville turnover here in the second quarter.
And a couple of uncharacteristic turnovers here for the Tigers here in the second quarter, Chris. Offensively, I'd like to see Logan get settled in. They still haven't been settled into this ball game, and Early needs to just kind of calm down and let the game come to him. I thought Hayner took a good shot this last possession. Let's see if they can get something here.
Takes a nice drive, off-balance shot, rattles in and out, however, no good as Logan just cannot get it to fall here. The defense has really started to do a good job on the other end, but they can't seem to find the points, and now Brad Napper wants a 30-second timeout with 3:50 left here in the second quarter. Well, again, we had that huge outburst in the first quarter, James, 21-10. But now here in the second quarter, like you said, the pace has slowed down. Logan's doing what they want to. Problem is they just haven't been able to score, as it's only 2-2 thus far in the second quarter.
And you can see Logan is just struggling right now on the offensive end. You have 6 points from Dino No that have come off blocks from Obina Killen. And really, they just haven't got in the groove of running their sets, doing the right thing, because everything has been so dependent on David Early throughout the entire season. And right now they're struggling when Chapmanville is jumping him and getting the ball out of his hands. Then you're going to have to see a guy like T.J. Mullins, Noah Cook, or Mitchell Hayner hit some shots from the outside and make Chapmanville get out of that run-and-jump defense.
So now we come out of the 30-second timeout. Obina will stay on the bench for Chapmanville. Philip Mullins will trigger it in here. Again, 23-12, Chapmanville leading it here in the Region 4 Section 2 championship game. The winner gets to host a regional final next week. The loser will have to go to either Nitro or Winfield. Browning dribbles to his left, gives it off to Williamson. Williamson out at the top of the key, now cuts into the lane, gets all the way to the basket. Left-handed layup up and good. And Drew Williamson into double figures now with 10 points. And again, such a pretty drive there by the senior and a great athletic move to finish. Pass out front, almost stolen. Now is stolen by Williamson. Collins got a hand on it. Williamson over to Collins, right side. Layup good, and now the lead has swelled to 15.
10 points for Collins as well. 2 players in double figures as Collins is going to pick up his first.
And Collins thought he got the ball away from Hayner, but Hayner hit the deck there. And that'll put Logan in the 1-and-1 as you get a look at that fast break here on our instant replay. And again, just a great job of body control by Collins and great hands on able to get that. That is our All-State Good Hands instant replay. So now a chance here for Logan to score from the charity stripe. Again, Early with the only 2 free throws thus far in the game for them. Hayner's 1-and-1, no good off the back iron, and rebounded by Williamson. And they are in big danger territory right now, are the Wildcats.
Yeah, they have got to find a way to score some points, and we talked about it in the pregame. If they're going to win this game, they have got to do well from the offensive end and the defensive end. And right now, they're just not scoring points. And here's Williamson again.
No good on the 3 from the right side, but rebounded by Collins. And now with all the bigs out for Logan, Chapmanville going to work on the offensive glass. Kish underneath, can't finish it from point-blank range. Rebound loose. Browning somehow comes out of there with it. and Chapmanville will reset. Williamson left alone, straight on three, count it! His third three of the half, and now the lead has ballooned to 30-12.
And at Williamson, you just can't leave this kid alone, and when March shows up, he's going to put his best foot forward.
Here comes Hayner, dribbles in, or Cook rather, gives it off to Chapman, runs into a man, puts up the shot in front of Kish and buries it. So that momentarily stops the bleeding for Logan as Chapman now has 6 points.
And I talked to Brandon Browning last night about the game plan. He mentioned feeding the ball inside, trying to take advantage with Chapman and No and using that size. And you look at Logan scoring, No has 6, Chapman has 6. Logan together has 14 points, so if they're going to feed the ball more, they need to find those two on the blocks.
Now Chapmanville working around the perimeter. Williamson dribbles in, kicks it into the corner for Collins. This is where he hit his first one, but can't hit this one. Rebound tipped up, and Philip Mullins has it for Chapmanville. Drives it baseline and tripped up and falls down, and they say no contact, and it'll go out of bounds over to Logan.
Yeah, that was a foul. It just wasn't called there, as we'll see Peyton Adams check into the game for the first time for the Wildcats, but Mullins got tripped there on the baseline, but on our instant replay there, we see Terrence Chapman hit that 9-footer inside the paint. And Chris, again, that's where Logan has to find the advantages. Terrence Chapman, Dino No on the inside, even early if they can find him posted up in a stationary position.
And now they send in Peyton Adams, the freshman, who's been a big part of Logan's second half run this year, as he'll give it off to Noah Cook. Cook dribbles over to the right, finds a crease all the way to the basket, and Noah Cook lays it in for his first two. So now the lead down to 14 here. Logan trying to mount a little rally here before intermission, as we're down to 1:15 left in the second quarter.
You would think Logan would like to get this in the single digits.
They go down low to Kish, trying to find a crease. He's blocked by Chapman, and he sends it out of bounds, and it'll stay with Chapmanville, however. And again, I was ready to say there before Cook's basket, part of the problem for Logan in the second game against Chapmanville was the fact that only Early, No, and Chapman were the only significant scorers in the second game, and thus far tonight that's been the same case. As they get it into Williamson, step back three in front of Felder, and he's fouled on it as Felder couldn't avoid bumping him, and that'll send Williamson to the line to shoot three.
Drew with 13 already tonight with a chance to have 16 at the half, and you know, a kid that didn't play well in the first game because he was battling the flu and strep throat. And in the second game, Logan's 3-2 defense just kind of got him out of his shooting rhythm, has really found a way tonight to propel the Tigers here in the first half of play.
Williamson unable to hit on the first of the three free throws. Second one up, no good off the front rim. And very rarely do you see that out of Drew Williamson at the free throw line. But still has one more here as James Ellis checks in for the first time for Chapmanville as Kish will go to the bench. Williamson's third free throw up. This one is good, so he's got 14 now for the game. 31-16, Chapmanville leads it, down to 1 minute to go in the first half. Chapman takes it left baseline, floater is good, but a charge called instead. Chapman ran into Drew Williamson, and a charge called on Chapman.
And Williamson was right there before Terrence Chapman went up for the shot, and I thought it was the right call, just not a very good time for that call if you're the Wildcats.
So now Chapmanville with the ball and a 15-point lead with 45 seconds left here in the first half. Let's see if Chapmanville appears they're going to try and hold for one here. Browning just dribbling around. Logan not coming out and contesting at the moment, down to 35 seconds. And again, if you're Coach Napper, you're more than content to take the last shot here and go into break with at least a 15-point edge. Down to 25 seconds. Browning continuing to just dribble around over on the far side. As now the Chapmanville crowd comes to life here near the end of the quarter, showing their team that they've appreciated the first half thus far. As it's down to 12 seconds. Now Browning will go with 10. Looks for a screen out front. Now we'll circle back. Gets it into the corner. Mullins down low to Ellis. Ellis lost it off his foot and out of bounds. 4.5 seconds left in the half.
And that's not what you wanted if you're Chapmanville. You had a chance to really ice away that half to be up 15, but
now they steal it.
By Mullins.
Oh, Mullins took it away from David Early, just stole it from him like a thief in the night. And Philip Mullins gets his first two of the ball game. And wow, what an almost appropriate way for that first half to end, James. Again, Logan unable to avoid some of the costly turnovers, and you just see it there on our instant replay. David Early just pickpocketed by the sophomore Philip Mullins, and Chapmanville goes into the half with a 17-point lead. Well, we'll step aside for a 2-minute timeout here from Mingo Central High School and be back to recap all of the first half action as the Chapmanville Tigers lead the Logan Wildcats 33-16. You are listening to the Region 4 Section 2 championship game with us right here on WVOW Radio, West Virginia's premier sports station, and live on video production.
Market for a new ride? Thornhill Factory Outlet has a vehicle you want. With over 300 to shop. Bad credit, no credit, bankruptcy, no problem. Ask us about our 100% credit approval program. Shop, save, and drive with Thornhill Factory Outlet, the value store.
Your car is crushed in a car wreck. You have been hurt. You need time to think. Here's an idea. Call 346-5990. Don't wait another minute. Now you've got the team that knows all about the money you deserve and how to get it for you. Time's up for that insurance company because the law speaks loudly when Farmer Klein and Campbell are on your team.
We're Farmer Klein and Campbell.
Helping you is what we do.
Farmer Klein and Campbell is the way to go. Call 346-5990.
There are some moments in life when time stands still. Holding your newborn is one of them. At Logan Regional Medical Center's Women's Center, it's our privilege to be there for you and your baby during this special time. Expert care, private rooms, and our Hugs infant security system help make you and your baby more comfortable, healthy, and welcomed. Logan Regional Medical Center, compassionate care for your special moments. Quality care close to home.
Remember that accident I got in with the pole and I had to make a claim and all that?
Is that whole thing still dragging on?
No, I took some pics with the app and
Filed a claim, but you know how they send you money to cover repairs and...
It took forever to pay you, right?
No, I got paid right away. But at the very end of it all, my agent wouldn't even call you back, right? No, she called to see if I was happy. But if I wasn't happy with my claim experience, for any reason, they'd give me my money back. No questions asked. Can you believe that?
No.
The claim satisfaction guarantee, only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
It's time for you to get more for less. Shop Thornhill Factory Outlet for the best savings on your next ride. Let our finance specialists get you approved and get you more for your tax refund. With vehicles to fit all budgets, you'll drive today with Thornhill. Apply online at...
We are at the half here from Mingo Central High School in the Region 4 Section 2 championship game where Chapmanville leads Logan 33-16. Our halftime show is brought to you by Gaddy's Pizza at the Fountain Place Mall in Logan. After the game, after church, for lunch, or for dinner, bring your family and friends to Gaddy's for great food and big fun. Gaddy's Pizza is a proud supporter of Logan County youth athletes. Well, again, James, we talked about it in the pregame show, how Logan needed to keep this at a lower pace of a game. We're successful in doing that in the second quarter, but nevertheless, Chapmanville was able to put up a lot of points there in the second half of the quarter and extend that lead out to 17. And now Logan's going to have to play a much different game in the second half if they want to try and get back into this. And it's going to be hard to do that if they're going to have to run and gun with Chapmanville.
Yeah, and Chris, we talked about it in the pregame show. Chapmanville didn't hit a lot of shots from the outside against Logan in the last meeting, in that 52-45 win at Chapmanville for the Tigers. But tonight they have hit at least 5 threes from the outside. Drew Williamson with 3 of those threes. Devin Collins with 2 of those threes. And that really changes things on how you defend in that 3-2 zone. And Williamson has just been pretty lights out from the outside. Collins has added his points as well. So if you're Logan defensively, I think you still stay with the same game plan for the most part. You've just got to score on the offensive end, and I don't know if that means you're going to take quicker shots on the offensive end and try to get more shots up, or you're going to try to take more quality shots. But right now, Logan, and we've seen them struggle at times this year on the offensive end, early with only 2 points in the first half. He's their catalyst. In the 2 games that Chapmanville and Logan have played, he's averaging 17.5 points, only with 2 points. That's a big difference in your scoreboard right now.
Yeah, and those 2 points came on a technical that Dylan Smith picked up before he went to the bench and hasn't been able to make a field goal as of yet. But, you know, the fact that Logan, again, has had difficulty with the pressure as well and getting into a half-court set. Again, a lot of that due to what Chapmanville's done here. I mean, have you seen anything different that Chapmanville's done defensively from the first two games?
Well, I'll say this. In the first game, they did run and jump David when he brought the ball over at half court. They didn't do that in the second game. I thought that was interesting when I was watching that second game with you, that they didn't run and jump David in that game, but they started to do that again. Logan's answer when they've done that is to put the ball in the hands of Mitchell Hayner and Noah Cook, and then to post David up on the block because he does have a size advantage over a lot of the guards. But we have seen Logan struggle to get him the ball in the post effectively, and he really hasn't been able to do work on the block. So if you're Zach Green, what do you do to try to combat that? If I'm him, you may want to go to a little bit of a smaller lineup to combat that, spread the floor a little bit so when Chapmanville comes out and jumps David, you have that extra pass to the guy in the corner that may be able to hit a shot from the outside.
Yeah, and I mean, also the fact that Chapmanville came out and just did bang, 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 three-pointers right off the bat. I mean, that's gonna mess with any type of game plan you have from the beginning.
And the emotional high the Wildcats came off of to come into that game, you know, these are high school kids. They just beat their number one nemesis, which has been Mingo Central, to get to this game for the first time in at least 2 years. So when you look at that, and you know, they have to come back in and bring that same intensity. Sometimes high school kids have a hard time doing that, and I thought that's what you saw in the first 2 minutes of this game.
Well, we are at the half here from Mingo Central High School, where Chapmanville leading Logan 33-16 with a chance to host the regional championship on the line next week. Well, again, our halftime show has been brought to you by Gaddy's Pizza at the Fountain Place Mall in Logan. After the game, after church, for lunch, or for dinner, bring your family and friends to Gaddy's for great food and big fun. Gaddy's Pizza is a proud supporter of Logan County youth athletes. We'll be back in 2 minutes for the start of quarter number 3 as you are listening to Logan and Chapmanville sectional basketball action with us right here on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station, and live on video productions.
Live your life like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shut so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no distance too far.
There are some moments in life when time stands still. Holding your newborn is one of them. At Logan Regional Medical Center's Women's Center, it's our privilege to be there for you and your baby during this special time. Expert care, private rooms, and our Hugs infant security system help make you and your baby more comfortable, healthy, and welcome. Logan Regional Medical Center, compassionate care for your special moments. Quality care close to home.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They are the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, Logan, and Mingo counties with its own crematory. For more information, contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
Time out! Do you need custom screen printing and embroidery to promote your team, school, or event? Look no further than First Place Printing and see why more teams and schools are choosing them for their custom clothing needs. First Place Printing also stocks athletic shoes, travel gear, backpacks, and more. The first stop for team apparel, sports gear, uniforms, and custom clothing is First Place Printing. Call 304-239-2991 or connect with them on social media, facebook.com/firstplace.
Welcome back, everybody. 33-16, Chapmanville leading Logan at the half. Chris Kidd and James Barker with you. Let's run through the first half scoring here with Logan. Dino No and Terrence Chapman leading the way with 6 points apiece, and then Noah Cook and David Early with 2 points each to round out the scoring for the Wildcats. On the other end, Drew Williamson almost equaling the point total of Logan in the entire first half, as Williamson with 14 points to lead all scorers. Devin Collins with 10 points. Obina Anachile Killam with 5 points. Jordan Kish with 2. And Philip Mullins with 2 to round out the scoring, as we get a score update as well from Nitro. And again, the Nitro Wildcats keep inching a little bit closer, but are they going to run out of time here? It's 63-59 Winfield at the moment, with Winfield at the free throw line and making the first to make it a 5-point game. But also, before we go back here, James, congratulations again to the Logan girls basketball
Absolutely.
team. Making the state tournament for the first time in 5 years. And Kevin Gertz has been coming by and saying hey to you for the last couple of quarters now anyway.
Yeah, pregame when we were discussing the keys to the game, I felt a twinge on my neck, I'll say, and that was Kevin Gertz, and obviously he's in high spirits tonight watching his girls move on to the state tournament after that overtime win against Winfield. And Kevin, one of the good guys in the business, and congratulations to him and his girls, well-deserving on their trip to Charleston.
And they'll take on the Wayne Lady Pioneers at 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday morning next week. So make sure you reserve your tickets to go over to Charleston and support the Logan girls team. And again, they made the state finals in 2013 in AAA, made that magical run and finished as state runner-up. So we'll see if they've got another great run in them starting next Wednesday. Now Dylan Smith back into the game here for Chapmanville. Again, picked up 3 fouls in 4 minutes in the first half, as he'll go back to work here as the original starting 5 for both.
And man-to-man now for the Wildcats. They've gotten out of that 3-2 zone.
So give it off to Williamson, who dribbles into the right corner. Again, Chapman going right to left across your computer screen and radio dial here in the third, with Logan going left to right. Again, a 17-point Chapmanville lead. Out front, Williamson picked up, spins into the paint, tries to go up against No, instead kicks it out to Browning for 3 and buries it. Kyle Browning with his first points of the game, and now the 6th 3 of the game for Chapmanville.
And a beautiful pass from Drew Williamson. Saw the help defense coming and was able to kick it out to Kyle just at the right time.
They give it over to Mullins, who was on the bench with 2 fouls in the first half. Now out to Early. Early picked up by Williamson. Early still looking for his first field goal. Instead gives it over to Hayner. Hayner down low on the right side for Chapman. Goes up, and they call him for a travel. And again, just nothing working right now for the Logan Wildcats, as this Chapmanville defense has just really put the clamps down here in the first 17 minutes of this game.
And it's been a struggle all night for Logan offensively. They have never seemed to be in a rhythm on the offensive end of the court.
As we said, this Chapmanville defense has held teams below 50 points 13 times this year and in 8 of the last 10 games, which is just an insane number to think about, as Williamson takes a deep 3, no good. Rebound tipped around. Obina gets it, goes back up, rolls out, no good. Rebound lost underneath off of Chapman's knee and out of bounds. It'll stay with Chapmanville.
And Chapmanville's defense is probably their most underrated characteristic when you talk about them as a team. They play great defense and have for the last 3 years, but just because they have so much offensive firepower, they sometimes get sidetracked.
Ball loose, and Dylan Smith has it. Now has his pocket picked by Dino No. No up the floor on the right side, trying to get into transition, but Chapmanville gets back. No waiting on Hayner to rejoin the fray as he crosses the timeline. Now out to the top of the circle. Again, a 20-point Chapmanville lead with 6:15 to go in the third. Hayner gives it over to Mullins. Mullins trying to find some space. Picks up his dribble, goes into the corner for Chapman. Chapman doesn't challenge Obina. Instead, they'll rework it around the perimeter. Pass over to Early, knocked away from Browning. And I tell you what, we was looking forward to that matchup between Early and Dylan Smith, but Kyle Browning has done such a tremendous job of staying with Early and knocking away some of these entry passes.
Well, and I think you said it earlier, Chris, one of the most heady players, smartest players that we've had a part to cover in the last decade or so.
They work it into the right corner for Hayner, now to Early. Early picked up now by Smith. Early gets a screen, dribbles in, pull-up jumper, short range, no good, off the front of the iron, and rebounded by Obina. Again, Early just has not been able to get going here tonight. As Williamson across the timeline, looks for a screen, gets one, he'll pull up for 3, and now Drew Williamson is beating the Logan Wildcats all by himself. He's got 17 points for the game, the Logan 16. 39-16, Chapmanville leads it as they go down low. Nice pass over to Dino No, and he finishes on the left block for his 8th point. That was a pretty find that time, I believe, by Chapman on the right block, as Williamson tries to get by Mullins and had it poked away by Mullins out of bounds. It'll stay with the Tigers.
They did finally call a foul on TJ there. The trail official called that foul on TJ Mullins, so he'll pick up his 3rd, Chris. But right now, Drew Williamson just taking right to the hole again, misses that layup, but he is just taking this game on his shoulders for the Tigers.
That was a good entry pass there. Williamson unable to finish, and now Mullins nearly travels with it as he picked up his dribble, but instead gives it over to David Early. 39-18, Chapmanville in control. As Early gives it over left side for Mullins. Pass intercepted by Obina. Look out. He's all alone. Finishes with one hand on the other end.
Well, the Minor Mountain turned into the Thunderdome there for Obina Killen as he just threw that down.
And again, you saw it once he jumped the passing lane. There was no one out in front, and after that it was just look out below as Early underneath finds Mullins wide open, and T.J. Mullins with his first two of the game, and a nice find out of that double team by David Early. 41-20, Chapmanville leads it now with 4:20 remaining in the third quarter of play. As they get it out front for Collins. Collins trying to get away from Chapman as Chapman was grabbing his jersey, and the official caught it, and that's going to be number 2 on Terrence Chapman.
And we're starting to see Logan start to get a little disheartened right now. We saw T.J. Mullins on a Drew Williamson 3 not fight through the screen to go over top. Allows Drew to step into a 3 and easily hit it from the top of the key. We see Obina with a big dunk on the other end, and you can start to see the body language of Logan for the first time tonight start to droop a little bit.
I should correct myself. That was number 3 on Terrence Chapman. So now he'll go to the bench as they go inside to Williamson. Double teamed. He'll circle back out. Goes to Obina at the top of the key. Obina go over to Collins on the right side. Pump fakes, dribbles in. Now picks up his dribble, goes back out towards midcourt and gives it off to Smith, who recalls another play. So he's dribbling around in front of Noah Cook right now. Gets a screen from Obina. Smith tries to take it in. No. Goes to the ground, and the ball lost. And they say last touch by Smith as everyone was looking around, waiting on a foul to be called one way or another, but the official let it go, and the ball goes over to Logan. 21-point Chapmanville lead here. Under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Early gets it up ahead for Cook. Now bounce pass to No, goes in. Almost another block for Obina, but they call him for the foul instead, as he thought he got him, but they call him for the body contact instead.
And you have another coach on the floor, Kyle Browning, trying to get Obina to calm down there, and does so. Now, there's a reason the coach's son wears wannabe 3 over there.
Yes, that's going to be number 2 on Obina, and now Dino No at the free throw line gets the first free throw to rattle home as he's up to 9 points for the game. And again, it looks like Winfield is going to hang on against Nitro as they lead at 70-64 with 17 seconds left and Winfield at the line.
So things stay status quo, Chris, as No hits the second foul shot. It would be Logan going to Winfield and then Chapmanville hosting Nitro for those regional finals.
Yeah, so again, Logan was able to blow out Winfield, and they're only meeting this year. Again, it was a tight game at half, and then Logan turned it on the second half. And Chapmanville had a bit of difficulty with Nitro, but still able to win by 10 as Williamson on a backdoor cut. Can't finish on the layup as Mbichi may have got a piece of it. So now here comes Logan back the other way, trying to trim into this lead a little more. Cook, open 3, no good from the right wing, and Logan still unable to hit a three-pointer tonight. No gets the rebound, though, up and under, and Dino No, what a game he's having. He's got 12 now. And
he has played extremely well. We do have a final now from Region 4, Section 1, as Winfield defeats Nitro 71-64. And some issues after the game on that as well, as seemed to be some pushing and shoving and maybe even a fight broke out in the handshake line between those two schools.
Well, good news is we can go back and rewatch that here on Video Productions later on and see what all transpired at the end of that, but hopefully cooler heads prevail there, as Williamson on the other end missed on a three-pointer and then a loose ball foul called against Philip Mullins, his first. So now Chapmanville seeing Logan edge back in a little bit here, but now No loses it off his foot as he tried to drive in right side and out of bounds. And again, it's kind of been the story of the night. Logan will take 2 steps forward and then 3 or 4 backwards, it feels, in this game.
And when you go back to the way this game started, Chapmanville had huge lead and the technical on Smith. Logan actually cut that to a 6-point lead, a 4-point lead for the Wildcats, and since then it's been all Chapmanville.
Now it's 41-24 Tigers out front. Browning Dribbles around, now finds a crease, but sees Beachy there and dribbles out. Elstead take a three, and Browning connects. His second three of the quarter, the 8th of the game for Chapmanville, and that's as big a stat as any tonight. 8 threes for Chapmanville, none for Logan. Dino No drives in right side, gets in. Let's see if this is an M1. Yes, it is, it appears. They say a blocking call against Jordan Kish, and that'll send Dino No to the line to shoot one.
Good move by Dino No. Took a little bit of a Euro step, able to get in the lane and finish. And right now, Dino No is playing some of the best offensive basketball we've seen him play all season long.
And, in the first 2 games, he had 3 in game 1 against Chapmanville, 10 in the second game. But had a very productive game the other night against Mingo Central as he misses on the N1 attempt, so an 18-point lead for Chapmanville. But he had 8 points and 8 rebounds in that just do-or-die game against the Miners, and really helped Logan advance onto this stage and give them a chance to make the state tournament. As Smith goes for 3 from the right side, no good. Rebound, and it's Browning who comes out of there with it amongst 3 trees, and now the officials let it go, and now the ball's loose, and it's taken away by Logan as the fans upset on the Chapmanville side. Now Mullins goes for 3 on the other end, no good, too strong, and rebounded by Elkins. And now let's see, they're going to call a push, it appears here.
That's on TJ, that's 4 on TJ Mullins.
Well, I tell you what, there was a much more contact on this end than on that end right there. That looked like Elkins took a little bit of an ole on that one to get to the ground, and that does end up being foul number 4 on Mullins.
Calling the police over, and they're going to maybe escort somebody out of here.
It might be at the Logan cheering section. Again, this is where we saw trouble at the start of the game, and yet the official is pointing at someone, it appears, in the student section, and they are ejecting a Logan student at the moment. And apparently
another one too.
And this is unfortunate right here. So again, 2 have been tossed here thus far for Logan. And again, we saw some issues in the pregame over there as well with some Chapmanville parents along with Logan fans. So hopefully that's the end of that.
All
for the
good
evening.
in the rivalry, Chris, as long as nobody gets hurt, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm not going to pretend like we were saints whenever we were in the cheering section.
We weren't.
We graduated from Logan, and we had a couple scuffles, so to speak, whenever we were there. So, yeah, I said I don't think anyone will be as bad as we were anyway. As Browning with the ball, under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Chapmanville leading it by 18 at 44-26. Mullins has it picked from behind by Early, but regains control of it. Gets it out front for Elkins, over to Browning. Goes for his third 3 of the quarter. Buries it, Kyle Browning, once again. And whenever he's hitting, there's not a whole lot you can do, as Chapmanville now has extended the lead to 21 again. Early trapped in the backcourt. Once again, they force him to get it out of his hands. Up ahead to Hayner. Hayner with a path in. Sidesteps Williamson, then rejected by Williamson. Taken away by Cookbow with 20 seconds left in the quarter. Out to No. Looks inside for Mbeachy. Turnaround jumper. Count it for Pete Mbeachy. And, boy, I tell you what, James, if he can get that touchdown from short range, he's going to be so dangerous.
Absolutely. He's got another year to be able to work on his craft. But right now, it was a good move to get Logan back on the board.
Now Williamson with 4 seconds, drives in right side, goes up, layup rolls off, rebounded by Elkins, puts it up at the horn, no good. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter as Chapmanville has extended their lead by 2. They head to the final frame, leading at 47-28. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You are listening to and watching the Region 4 Section 2 Championship game with us right here on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station, and on Video Productions.
Get you approved. Thornhill Factory Outlet offers special value vehicles with the largest inventory in the southern coalfields. Get more for your tax refund now with a new vehicle for your driveway. Shop Thornhill Factory Outlet in Logan or online at thornhillfactoryoutlet.com.
Your car is crushed in a car wreck. You have been hurt. You need time to think. Here's an idea. Call 346-5990. Don't wait another minute. Now you've got the team that knows all about the money you deserve and how to get it for you. Time's up for that insurance company because the law speaks loudly when Farmer Klein and Campbell are on your team.
We're Farmer Klein and Campbell.
Helping you is what we do.
Farmer Klein and Campbell is the way to go. Call 346-5990.
The tax refund celebration is going on now at Thornhill Factory Outlet in Logan. Grab your tax refund and head to Thornhill for the best deals on quality pre-owned cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. Don't let your tax refund be wasted. Go Thornhill.
Start of quarter number 4 here from Mingo Central High School as Chapmanville in control over Logan, leading at 47-28. Chris Kidd and James Barker with you tonight as Early step back jumper from the right wing, no good as he still has not hit a field goal here tonight as Williamson races into the front court, dishes it back to Mullins, over to Collins, straight on 3, rims around and falls home for Devin Collins as the outside shooting barrage continues here tonight for Chapmanville.
And again, Tigers did not shoot very well from the outside in the last meeting between these two teams. That is not the case tonight.
10 3-pointers for Chapmanville, still none for Logan in the game. 50-28, Chapmanville leads it early. Fadeaway jumper, and there it finally is. David Early, he scored the first 2 points of the game for Logan, and that's his first 2 since.
It's his first field goal of the game as well, Chris. Just hasn't been able to get the shot to go until right there.
50-30 Chapmanville. Mullins, he'll now try and add his name to the three-point list. No good from the right side and rebounded by No. Gets it over to Cook. Cook being harassed by Smith. So they get it over to Hayner. Hayner on the left wing picked up his dribble. Now out front for Cook. Gets a screen from Early. Cook finds a crease, dribbles in, floater in the air. Gets the friendly roll as Noah Cook into the book now for his 4th point. 50-32 Chapmanville. 6.5 minutes to go in the contest as Chapmanville looks like they're on their way to another sectional crown here, but Logan trying to fight back here in the final 6.5 as Mullins finds a little lane on the right side, loses control and taken away by Mbichi. Mbichi over to Early. Again, if Logan can find a score here, but now it's stripped from behind by Mullins. Early gets it back, throws it inside to Mbichi, and it goes off the backboard and deflects into the hands of Devin Collins. And now a timeout here for Brad Napper as he doesn't like what he's seeing at the moment from his club. So it'll be a full timeout. We'll take it with them. 6:06 remaining. Chapmanville leads it by 18 as you are listening to the sectional championship game with us right here on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station, and live on Video Productions.
Remember that accident I got in with the pole and I had to make a claim and all that?
Is that whole thing still dragging out?
No, I took some pics with the app and
Filed a claim, but you know how they send you money to cover repairs and...
It took forever to pay you, right?
No, I got paid right away. But at the very end of it all, my agent wouldn't even call you back, right? No, she called to see if I was happy. But if I wasn't happy with my claim experience, for any reason, they'd give me my money back. No questions asked. Can you believe that?
No.
The claim satisfaction guarantee, only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Live your life like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shut so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no distance too far.
Back here in the 4th quarter of the Region 4 Section 2 championship game. Chris Kidd and James Barker with you as Chapmanville leading it 50-32 as we're also seeing Capital about to get upset by GW here in the AAA sectional final as GW leads it by 4 with 5 seconds left. As out front with it, Dylan Smith being guarded by Hayner. As Chapmanville just key to work the clock right now. Now Smith finds a crease floater on the way in, and Dylan Smith with his first bucket of the ball game. 52-34 Tigers. Up the floor now, a bump called against Kyle Browning as Cook ran into him, and Browning commits the foul. That'll be his second. Again, team fouls not near the 1-and-1 like we were in the first half. Again, that's the 4th team foul against Chapmanville, 3 against Logan. As Cook gets by the defender, floater in the air, and another nice touch by Noah Cook. And again, that kid, just a sophomore, going to be a big addition next year, probably the starting lineup with Logan.
Man, that was a floater that was reminiscent of the floater that put Logan up by 3, which was the winning basket in that game against Mingo Central on Wednesday.
52-34, Chapmanville. Williamson drives in, a lot of contact, and they call a charge on Drew Williamson as David Early stands in and takes it. And Williamson doesn't look like he was happy with the call or may just be conversing with the Chapmanville bench right now, but that'll be the first against Williamson. Again, it looks as if GW has upset Capital. 69-63 again. Capital, though, will still have their opportunity to make the states, and GW will as well, but there's a semi-upset right there in that AAA sectional final.
Butch Mounts and company and Robbie playing with house money after the GW win.
As Early's pass deflected by Obina out of bounds, it'll stay with the Logan Wildcats. Yeah, again, Robbie over here, GW graduate, just grinning like a possum right now. So we know he's happy. It'll be an easier drive back to Charleston for him tonight. As Early dribbles into the left corner, double team, pass out front, gets away, no, saves it, and now it's loose underneath, and it's picked up by Early. He'll take it in left side, throws it off the side of the backboard. There's Cook, however, though. He can't finish from inside, and rebounded underneath by Obina. 4:25 remaining, an 18-point Chapmanville lead. Williamson tried to dish it. Oh, and Williamson and Obina got crossed up there. Obina wanting to lob it into the air, and Williamson threw a bounce pass that goes out of bounds.
Yeah, but that's the sign of a good team right there, is they can have those discussions and be upset in a minute, and then they're over it in just as quick time.
Yeah, again, they've talked about they're hard on each other in practice, and I said they compete with each other, and I think that's what's made them such a tough team over the last couple of years now, as Dino knows pass kicked away by Obina. And it'll stay with Logan here.
If you're Logan, Chris, you've got to find a way to build some momentum here in the last 4 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
Get yourself ready to play in a regional final to head to Charleston.
They inbounded to Early, turn around in the paint, no good. Rebound loose and taken by Browning. Browning up ahead. Smith has it. Smith dishes to Obina, goes up, slams it home the second time tonight. Obina and Achille Killen running the floor and stuffing it home.
Man, it's like playing with a kid out there. He gets so excited about those type of plays.
He's got 9 for the game, and now Williamson pokes it away from No. Another turnover here as Browning dribbles it up the center. One-handed pass to Obina, goes up. Lay-in is good, as he thought he should have had an M1 on that. But now Obina into double figures with 11. And he had 17 in that sectional semifinal against Lincoln County in basically 3 quarters as he put on a show in front of Bob Huggins. And now a foul on Dylan Smith. That'll be his 4th.
As we start to see some of the Logan faithful file out, 22-point lead for the Tigers with about 3:30 to go. And Chris, again, if you're Logan, you're playing another game, and that's the important thing right now. I think Zach Green and his coaching staff have to reiterate to his kids, this is right now just like a practice. You've got to find a way to get better and go and compete against Winfield next Thursday.
Oh, Mullins, what a look down low for No. Can't finish, but there's David Early there to tip it in.
And it looks like Williamson got poked in the eye there, and it's not good if you're a Tiger fan.
And again, as he's checking to see if there's blood or not, it appears, and there may be. Yeah, Williamson does look like he's got poked in the eye here. It looks like maybe his right eye as he's heading towards the bench, or it may be his nose. Okay, well, yeah, it looks like maybe it's his nose instead that's bleeding.
Yeah, he got popped right in the chin right here as you saw the video on a replay on Video Productions. Good look there from Robbie Mounts and Sierra Stowers, our camerawoman tonight, as she saw Drew just get popped right in the chin with that.
56-36 now in favor of Chapmanville. As out front with it is Mullins. Mullins dribbles over to the right now, picked up by Felder. Gives it over quickly to Smith. Smith drives baseline, tried to thread the needle to Collins, but it was kicked away by Early, so it'll stay with Chapmanville. So we are down to 2:52 remaining in the ball game. Chapmanville looking for another sectional crown here. Again, they hadn't won any for the longest time and have since started to dominate this section as the inbounds pass stolen. Here comes Early up the right side, barrels into Obina. And this will be interesting to see what the call is here, as you saw Early with a forearm push, and then you saw Obina trying to fight it back, and they're going to get Obina on the foul.
And I thought it was the right call. Early had position. Obina, if he goes up vertically there, maybe be able to get that call, but Early, such a big body, able to rumble in there, and you saw him protect the basketball like it was a football and cradle it and try to get to the line.
As he hits on his first free throw, he's now up to 7 points for the game, 5 of those coming here in the fourth quarter thus far. And that's just something that Chapmanville hasn't let him do tonight, though, is get out in the open floor to where he can do some damage. And now he misses the second free throw. We got a foul underneath.
If that's on TJ, that'll be his 5th.
Yeah, they are going to whistle that on TJ Mullins, so he is fouled out of this contest now with 2:45 remaining in the game. It is 56-37 in favor of Chapmanville. Again, they appear to be ready to face off against Nitro next Thursday at 7 o'clock, while Logan will head to Winfield at 7 o'clock next Thursday. Smith brings it across the timeline, picked up by Early. Smith gives it over to Williamson, almost had it stolen by Felder. Williamson now will dribble in right side, goes in, had it knocked loose as he takes a hard fall underneath the basket, and thankfully for him, able to get up okay. As the physicality of this game, James, is definitely not eased up one bit.
No, it hasn't. You're absolutely right. But both teams still playing hard. Still playing hard with 2:30 to go. 19-point lead for Logan, for Chapmanville. But Logan has not quit in this game either, Chris. And I think that's a testament not only to the kids on the floor, but the coaching staff for Logan as well, to make sure that they try to finish and put a good product on the floor tonight.
Williamson woefully short on that first free throw attempt, and now Obina will check out of the game, and that'll likely be it for him for the evening. Second free throw by Williamson short as well, and again, you wonder about that fall he just took, as that's now 1 of 5 from the free throw line for Williamson. And now we get a push-off called on Dino No, as Dylan Smith was right on him all the way through that dribble, and they call Dino No now with his 3rd foul.
Yeah, and Smith right there, just like he was talking about before the game, he has extreme confidence in himself and his abilities, and just a young man that is always going to be competitive and never back down from a challenge, and right there able just to be a gnat on the defensive side of the ball. And now you're going to get another push underneath, and I don't know if that's on No again.
Yeah, it's going to be 4 on him, and like you said, you can just sense the frustration building now on the Logan Wildcats.
I think it'll put Kish at the line for a 1-and-1, Chris. Again, we haven't seen a lot of Chapmanville's bench tonight. They usually play very liberally into their bench. Elkins and Kish and Ellis playing a lot more minutes, but tonight we didn't see them with a lot of minutes. But one thing I will say is that entire Chapmanville bench tonight, Chris, completely engaged in the game the entire game. They were up cheering and chanting and trying to make this a fun event. You can see on their faces they have been, and their body language tells it all, they have been focused on this game the entire time.
As Kish made the first, missed the second, and then crossed over before the ball hit the rim as he knew it was a little off. But now 57-37 Chapmanville, 2:15 remaining as they inbound it to Early. Now to Cook, now across the timeline to No. No over on the right wing. Look down low for a moment, gives it off to Early, almost lost it. Now a fadeaway 3 in the corner, no good as it hits the top of the basket support, and ball back to Chapmanville. Again, James, this will now be the 5th straight win for Chapmanville in this series. Prior to that, Chapmanville's last win versus Logan came in the 1950s. Elvis Presley was a young budding star at the time. Okay, I'm not going into that. But they have won 25 games in a row against Chapmanville from 2002 to 2011. This rivalry was as one-sided as one-sided gets, and now things have flipped here the last couple of years. Again, not saying that this won't be a rivalry that goes back and forth in future years, but you know that it's something that the Chapmanville community savors and something that obviously is hurtful on the Logan side of this too.
Well, this is, basketball is king in Logan County for the most part, Chris, and this is generally the, game that everybody circles on their calendar. It just so happens that this one happened in March and had a little bit extra meaning to it, but I think Logan is starting to get there. I think Zach Green's putting the program in place of where he needs it to be. I think next week will tell a lot of what happens with Zach Green's ball club moving forward. But, I think Zach is doing the right things. He's saying the right things in the media, and he's working hard at his job. And I think Logan's on the cusp of something. And you and I hope they get there Thursday night against Winfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Zach, 30 and 20. in his 2 years thus far as coach. Led Logan to the state tournament as a player in 2004. Hadn't been there since 1995 at the time. Then went on and played at Alderson Broadus. Then you got, on the other end, Brad Napper, 62-15 in 3 years at Chapmanville. Been to the state tournament 3 years in a row. One win away now from a fourth straight trip, and was an assistant coach on this Logan staff, and they won state tournament as well. So, Brad Napper is experienced as they come. Zach Green experienced, and hopefully both these clubs will find their way to Charleston next Thursday.
And you have to start talking about Brad Napper in the upper echelon of coaches in the state of West Virginia, Chris, because 3 straight appearances, maybe 4 as they'll host a home regional final. But with his record at Chapmanville and what he has done with the basketball program that Harry Kirk helped turn around, you got to think that the Tigers on the cusp of building something and continue to build something very special down in Chapmanville.
Well, here's a shade of irony as we hit the final 30 seconds. Peyton Adams hits the first 3 of the game for the Logan Wildcats as Chapmanville has poured in 10 here tonight, and Logan just now getting there first as a quick timeout here to get some of the subs into the game. And when the Power takes a timeout at your home, you can get timely alerts on outage conditions and restoration estimates by signing up at AppalachianPower.com/alerts. Again, 57-40, Chapmanville leading it. This will be now the 9th time in the last 11 games that Chapmanville has held an opponent below 50 points as they inbound it to Garrett Richard, who's checked in for Chapmanville. Carson Toney and Hunter Cook also into the game here for Chapmanville. As Richard dribbling around in front of Adams, will hand it off to Cook with 10 seconds left. Cook dribbles out front against Noah Cook. Now over to Richard, down to 5 seconds, down to 3, down to 2. Richard dribbles in, and the Chapmanville Tigers are your 2018 sectional champions in Region 4, Section 2. Both teams shake hands here. Again, it was really a game, James, that was never in doubt. Chapmanville led this wire to wire, jumped out to a 9-0 lead, and Logan just was unable to recover. The closest they got it was 14-10, but this was all Chapmanville from basically the beginning to the end tonight.
And Drew Williamson able to hit shots from the outside early on, along with Devin Collins, really pushed that lead for the Tigers early on. And when Chapmanville has such firepower on their offense and Logan is a defensive-based team right now, very difficult for the Wildcats to play from behind and play catch-up against a team like Chapmanville. So we'll see both these teams next Thursday at 7 o'clock. One will be on the road, one will be at home, but both have a chance to go back to Charleston.
Well, again, 57-40, Chapmanville, your sectional champions here tonight from Mingo Central High School, as James and I will step aside for a break. And when we come back, we'll recap all of tonight's action from Mingo Central High School, as again the Tigers win at 57-40. You are listening to the Region 4 Section 2 championship game with us right here on WVOW Radio, West Virginia's premier sports station.
Chronic wounds can really slow you down. At Logan Regional Medical Center, we want to help you get back to doing the things you love without having to travel far from home. That's why the team from our Advanced Care Wound Center combines expertise and advanced technology, like the region's only hyperbaric oxygen therapy program, helping you to heal quickly. Logan Regional Medical Center.
Healing starts here.
Still sitting at stop? Wait no longer. Go Thornhill and drive today. Thornhill Factory Outlet has special financing available with programs to help get you approved on the vehicle you've been waiting for. No matter your position, it's your time to shop and drive with Thornhill.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They are the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, Logan, and Mingo counties with its own crematory. For more information, contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
I've been a lot of things over the years.
Your blind spot, your loose satellite dish, a literal deer in the headlights. But it's a new year and I'm making a resolution. No more mayhem. This year, I'm everything that helps keep you safe. Like the fuzzy yellow tennis ball dangling from a string, helping make sure you Pull the car in far enough, but not too far.
It's time for you to get more for less. Shop Thornhill Factory Outlet for the best savings on your next ride. Let our finance specialists get you approved and get you more for your tax refund. With vehicles to fit all budgets, you'll drive today with Thornhill. Apply online at Thornhill Factory.
57-40, the Chapmanville Tigers, your Region 4 Section 2 champions here in 2018 as they knock off the Logan Wildcats by 17. Chris Kidd and James Barker with you. Just a reminder that in the nation there's lots to love, from your family to your belongings to your dreams for retirement. Nationwide protects what you love most: auto, home, life, and retirement. Call Nationwide agent Kelly Wooten Willis in Logan at 304-752-1390 today to combine your policies and save up to 25%. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio, subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval. This is WVOW Logan. Again, at the moment, James, it is the Chapmanville Tigers down on the floor celebrating, getting ready to cut down the nets as they've already taken the preliminary photos for the scrapbooks, and now they get to take on the Nitro Wildcats again, another Wildcat club they get to go up against in the regional final on Thursday. That'll be at Chapmanville. The Logan Wildcats will travel to Winfield to take on the Generals in that game. And the good news for both teams now is that Logan beat Nitro, and they're only meeting by 10. Logan was able to beat Winfield, and they're only meeting, but that game was at Logan. So now they just flip-flop venues whenever they play this time around.
Right, and you go back to that Nitro game for Chapmanville, which was one of the more the closer games that the Tigers had all season in the state of West Virginia, Chris. And they shot 0 of 19 from 3
in that
18
game. In that game,
yeah, 0 of 18 from 3 in that game, and that's something that the Tigers can't have happen as we've seen them throughout the year. Is they're going to shoot the 3 from the outside, and when they struggle from the outside or don't get those points from the outside, they become beatable. But still, nobody in the state of West Virginia has been able to kind of remedy that. As the Tigers undefeated in the state so far, 23-1 on the season, Chris, and you go to the Logan side of things, they'll go to Winfield, very tough place to play at Winfield. Logan has gone there in the past years when they were a AAA team. They played Winfield exclusively. That was one of those lower AAA population rivals that Logan played a lot there in Putnam County, and now they go back to see some familiar faces with Braden McGrew, the starting guard that has been a very good player for the Generals over the course of the last 4 years as he started from a freshman to a senior. So a lot of talent here in the next games here on Thursday in the regional finals, but we still both believe very almost 100%, very confidently that both these teams can get to Charleston with the teams that they're playing on the road to Charleston.
And again, you look at the final scores of those games. Logan beat Winfield 62-53 on January 19th at Logan, and then Chapmanville winning against Nitro 66-56, and that was the first game after that long layoff as well, after all the snow and all the cancellations and stuff. So again, it'll be a different atmosphere as well at Chapmanville on Thursday night. Again, I'll be there for the call of that one. James will be with Logan at Winfield for that game, and again, once we kind of get everything finalized, we'll let you know on what channels and what locations you can listen to the game and watch the game as well next Thursday evening, as again the Chapmanville Tigers knock off the Logan Wildcats 57-40 here tonight. As we're going to step aside for our final break, when we come back, we've got some awards to pass around, as well as look around the state and see some of the other scores. We also get you set for Basketball Friday night coming up here on WVOW in just a few moments, as you are listening to the Region 4 Section 2 championship game with us right here on WVOW Radio, West Virginia's premier sports station, and also live on Video Productions.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They are the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, Logan, and Mingo counties with its own crematory. For more information, contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
Time out. Do you need custom screen printing and embroidery to promote your team, school, or event? Look no further than First Place Printing and see why more teams and schools are choosing them for their custom clothing needs. First Place Printing also stocks athletic shoes, travel gear, backpacks, and more. The first stop for team apparel, sports gear, uniforms, and custom clothing is First Place Printing. Call 304-239-2991 or connect with them on social media, facebook.com/firstplaceprinting.
At Logan Regional Medical Center, we're proud to deliver high-quality health care to our neighbors every day. That's why we're here, for you. From helping you welcome your newborn into the world or providing the right care to truly make your advanced years golden, for all of life's little bumps and emergencies along the way, we're always here for you. Logan Regional Medical Center, compassionate, quality care, close to home.
Live your life like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shut so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no distance too far.
Welcome back, everybody, to Mingo Central High School. Chris Kidd and James Barker with you as the Chapmanville Tigers, sectional champions, with a 57-40 win over the Logan Wildcats. Well, it's time now for our Temp Control Hot Hand of the Game, brought to you by Temp Control at Chapmanville. And tonight's hot hand, we're going to give it to three players here. We got Drew Williamson for Chapmanville, who led all scores with 17 points. Devin Collins as well for Chapmanville, who hit 3 threes and finished with 13 points. And then Dino No of the Logan Wildcats, who led them in scoring with 14 points tonight. So again, Williamson, Collins, and No, your three Temp Control Hot Hand of the Game award winners here tonight. And this winter, if you want your home to be as comfortable as possible, call Stuart Trickler and Roland Mullins of Chapmanville at 304-855-5200.
And you're like Oprah. You get a hot hand. You get a hot hand. You get a hot hand.
Everybody gets a hot hand. Actually, some people turn around and look at me on that one. Like, what's he talking about? Just go to Temp Control. You'll understand, sir. It'll all explain itself in just a moment. I'll tell you what, James is looking for a few scores here, and while he does, I'll run through the final tallies on both sides. Again, Logan tonight, Dino No led the way with 14 points. Then you had David Early held to one of his lowest totals of the season with just 7 points here tonight. 5 of those coming in the fourth quarter. Terrence Chapman finished with 6 points. Noah Cook with 6 points. Peyton Adams with 3 points. Pete Mbechi with 2 points. And TJ Mullins with 2 points to round out the scoring for Logan. On the other end, Drew Williamson led all scores with 17 points. Then Devin Collins with 13 points. Obina Anachile Killam with 11 points. Kyle Browning finished with 9 points. Again, hit those 3 big threes in the third quarter that really extended the lead for Chapmanville. Jordan Kish off the bench with 3 points. Dylan Smith with 2 points. And Philip Mullins with 2 points to round out the scoring for the Tigers. Again, you want to give us some score updates?
Yeah, some updates. Tug Valley defeats Van 96-39 tonight to win the Region 4 Section 2 Single A Championship.
Yikes.
Parkersburg Catholic now will come to Naugatuck to face the Panthers this coming week. I believe single A's are on Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe Wednesday night, not 100% sure, but congratulations to Tug Valley as they defeat Van for the Region 4 Section 2 Championship. Martinsburg defeats Musselman. I know not a lot of people care about Eastern Panhandle basketball down here, but this one 68-65, 2 overtimes in that game as well. You don't think that basketball is important come March. We had the George Washington Patriots that win in overtime tonight. Martinsburg wins in 2 overtimes tonight. This format that the SSAC has created that puts the sectional championship winner and loser in the championship game onto the regional play just turns out great basketball all across the board. And I know that Logan fans are disheartened on their way back home tonight. But, again, you got a chance Thursday, and I know Zach Green and former head basketball coach Mark Hatcher are going to tell you, get to Winfield, get there early, cheer on the Wildcats because they have a chance to go back to Charleston.
Yeah, I agree completely. Again, it's going to be a fun Thursday night here in here in the next 6 days, however, as both these teams trying to get to the state tournament together for the first time in county history. Well, it's time now for Appalachian Power Electric play of the game, and we've got a few of them for you here. Again, the steal at the end of the first half by Philip Mullins here. As Chapmanville was up by 15, they inbounded it to Early, and Philip Mullins just ripped it away from him and laid it in to give Chapmanville a 17-point lead at the time. And then you had Obina Anachile Killen taking off here as he steals the pass from Hayner, takes it in all alone, and a thunderous one-handed jam as he runs off with the Joe Namath #1 finger after the fact. And then Dylan Smith feeding Obina on the right side as he went up with a two-handed stuff that time, as all of those are Appalachian Power Electric plays of the game. So sign up for real-time text and email alerts about power outages and restoration estimates in the area at AppalachianPower.com/alerts. Well, we've got one more award here tonight, James, and that's got to go to Kyle Browning, our Farmer Klein and Campbell player of the game here on Video Productions, as Browning, again, hit 3 3-pointers in the third quarter, really helped extend that lead, but it was really more of the defensive and the ball handling of what Browning did, because once Dylan Smith went out there in the first 4 minutes of the game with 3 fouls, he drew a lot of the responsibility on David Early and did a great job of poking passes away, coming up with a few steals, and just really settling down the offense just like he has for 4 years.
I don't know a better point guard in the state when it comes to doing all the things you have to do to be a floor general on the basketball court like Kyle Browning does. You know, he gets jump balls when he shouldn't have any chance to do so. He's able to take away your better player defensively in the post just because he's not necessarily a better post defender than David Early is in the post. He just reads the passing lane so well and takes that away from you. So, you know, he changes your game plan as a coach because he's so heady on the floor. And I thought tonight, you know, even though Williamson finished with the most points and, you know, you had Devin Collins in double figures as well, I thought Kyle Browning put a lot more into this game and took a lot of things away that Zach Green wanted to do on the court tonight, and that's why he's your Farmer Klein and Campbell player of the game.
Again, 57-40, Chapmanville wins it tonight. Well, again, final thoughts here before we head off and send things out here on WVOW to Basketball Friday night and Huntington with Ryan Epling in the gang. But, you know, Chapmanville, they're going to be the favorites, obviously, against Nitro. Again, that's a tough Nitro team that can come in and they can knock down a lot of shots. They can create a lot of problems. But, you know, Chapmanville, I feel like it'll be a little bit different this time around. They won't have as poor of a shooting night as they did. And, again, Logan, the opportunity's there for them. I think that this broke well for Logan. Again, they'll have to win it on Winfield's home floor, but they won by 9 earlier this season on their home floor. And if Logan can come out, play that tough defense they've been playing as of late, I think they can get there and create a massive scenario for the Charleston Civic Center where they see the Chapmanville Tigers and the Logan Wildcats converging on them next week, which you know they would love to have.
Obviously, we would, and we would love to have that as well. As you know, both of us Logan graduates, even though we have kind of moved down into Chapmanville, live down in Chapmanville now, but you know, we still root for both schools. It just becomes really tough when both schools play each other, and you know, thank God we don't have to pick sides, Chris. You know, we're up here doing the broadcast, so when you talk about these two teams moving forward, we wish nothing but the best for both clubs, but I think Logan really has a good chance against Winfield. They've got to go to Winfield, as you mentioned, but this is a Logan team that's starting to play their best right now, even though you may not have seen it tonight, but really has a great chance to move on to Charleston. And Chapmanville, with that home crowd and that home advantage, they'll be packed into Danny Gobby Gymnasium early on Thursday. And you know, they obviously, like you said, probably are the favorites, but, you know, played a tough Nitro squad early in the year, and they've got to find a way to continue to compete and find a way to get back to Charleston. Most likely, if Fairmont holds their end of the bargain, they'll be the 1 seed. Chapmanville most likely will be the 2 seed when you head in there. And then, but the job is for the Tigers is to get back to Charleston.
Again, make sure you're with us next Thursday night, as at 7 o'clock will be the tip-off. Again, not 7:30, but 7 o'clock. Next Thursday will be the tip-off, and we'll be on the air with our pregame shows at 6:50 p.m. that evening. Again, I'll be in Chapmanville with the Tigers against Nitro. James will be with Logan and Winfield as they try and take on the Generals there. So, again, we'll let you know where and what the game will be on, whether it's on ChapmanvilleTigers.tv, LoganWildcats.tv, WVOW Radio Facebook page, brought to you by Video Productions. We've got all sorts of channels. We're like the new DirecTV. You can just go to a whole lot of different channels and find us, James.
Well, I mean, if you like DirecTV, Chris, I mean, you could go.
I got Suddenlink, so what can I say?
YouTube TV or Sling TV or just Video Productions would probably be the best place to go for these next games.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's going to be a fun-filled Thursday night, and we hope that we end it with 2 Logan County teams in the Class AA state tournament. But once again, your final tonight, the Chapmanville Tigers knock off the Logan Wildcats 57-40 to move on to the regional finals, as Logan will move on as well. Again, Logan will be in Winfield, Chapmanville will be at home against Nitro. So for Robbie Mounds, Sierra Stowers, and James Barker, I'm Chris Kidd saying so long tonight from Mingo Central High School, as you have been listening to the Region 4 Section 2 Championship game with us right here on Video Productions and on WVOW Radio, West Virginia's premier sports radio station.